And it'll also, for some of those barn burners that might come out too, it'll also open up some
I'm a
money for
team
that.
player.
What's a barn burner?
A barn burner?
Are
Are you from Starke County?
What's a basketball term? Yeah, no, sorry.
Have you ever seen Hoosiers?
If it's a basketball term, I didn't do sports, I worked on the farm, so.
Nobody.
So you don't know what a barn burner is?
Nobody
and
knows
you live
what a
down-
barn burner is.
You know, it's like when the barn burns.
Council's my least favorite.
No, I'm your least favorite. That's okay.
Twice the people give me flack in the morning, huh?
Exactly, except for Kay. Kay and Don, he's not bad.
What's that mean?
Depends which Don you're talking about.
Yeah.
Who's the worst? Me?
Yeah, you're the worst.
Dave.
No, probably Brad.
Gotta try harder.
Hey, I said you're. my
I was
favorite.
bothering her when she was in the dentist chair today, so.
Sure.
See, I'm her favorite too.
What, are you trying to watch the YouTube, watch the football game?
No.
Kay, do you know what a barn burner is? No. Thank you,
Oh, come on.
thank you.
Why do
Neither
you
do
two
I.
have to stick together?
When Purdue and
Really?
IU were playing, there's 30 seconds left and the score's tied.
Barn burner, what is
Pretty
that?
much.
I don't know what it is. They won't tell me.
Good for you. All right.
Yes. I appreciate that. That's just what I needed coming in here.
What are you guys doing now? You two-
Like pictures, the Purdue and IU.
Sneaky would not be your council members, I can tell you that.
And the score was tied.
Oh.
And that's the barn burner.
The barn burner. Makes no sense.
That's it.
Oh, here's all I have on barn and Thornburg and.
I was just gonna say, here's all I have on barn burners.
It's in.
Oh, maybe you Googled it.
Just be nice to me for one meeting, Bradley.
You did say we had the alcohol board letter too.
I don't have anybody for that. I don't have anybody for anything other than Northwest.
Okay, we'll advertise
Library.
them out, but I couldn't
I am
remember. It was
gonna
you.
be
Somebody told me that there was somebody that wanted to do it from Kenny's Place.
I'm gonna be doing an advertisement in the newspaper for.
No, it was not me. It was
not you doing
Rachel.
it, But did somebody?
Oh.
Rachel did.
So just so I have everything.
There are none but 3 Democrats left.
I didn't sign the letter.
Realized I had to change it. We'll take your word for it for a year now. So.
And you just know this, but that's great.
What do you think about that? Pretty nice.
Yeah. It's really nice.
Oh,
Totally impressed.
Yeah.
Yeah. Sorry?
Yeah. Too bad when my face is red already.
yeah.
Here you go. We got this back before the meeting started.
Oh, thank you very
Very
much.
efficient. Let's go ahead and start with the question. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Just one order of housekeeping business. I'll entertain a motion for the minutes from Monday, December 20th, 2021. Have a motion. Is there a second? All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
That's good for Brad last. Just to make sure we get it to the auditor. As far as reorganization is concerned, both Brad and I are willing to continue to serve. You guys still see fit. but-
Make a motion, we leave it like it is.
We have a motion from Don. Is there a second?
Second.
Don, why did you do on
You can do
that? Is there any discussion? All those in favor, please say aye.
All right.
Is there any opposed? Economic Development Board, and then there's a skill appointment that, I'm just gonna write skill here, so we remember that too. Separate from that, but we have Brad and Kay on those boards in 21. Is there gonna be any changes to that?
I'm good staying.
Okay. For the skill appointment,
I don't want to do that.
you want to do that? Okay. Sure. Is there any opposition to that? Someone want to make a motion? I can even motion that. can I? I'll motion that for Brad to be appointed to the skill board.
I'll second it.
Second from Don, is there any discussion? Okay, all those in favor, aye. Is there any opposed? Todd.
Oh,
Kirksey.
wait, that, is that skill board and economic development? That you just
Skill board
motioned for?
separate.
But did you motion for the economic development? too?
I'll make the, I'll
Yeah,
amend my
I'll
motion
second.
for both.
So
All
Brad
those
will
in
vote
favor,
for
aye.
Brad K.
And then Kirksey.
I'll
That's
do
not
somebody else
this
will.
Want to make a motion?
Make a motion for Todd, unless Donnie already did it, so then I'll second.
Either way.
Donnie already did. A second. Is there any further discussion? All those in favor, aye.
Aye.
Howard, are you still good on the planning commission?
Sure. Make a motion, we retain Howard as our appointment to the planning commission.
I'll second.
We have a motion and a second. Is there any further discussion? All those in favor? Aye.
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 Library board, we have a letter. Or we have a recommendation, actually. I talked to Nagel under, I knew that he wanted to do it, but we didn't get a letter from him, but we did get a letter from Mr. Altman.
Mhm.
So, I can make that motion. I'll make a motion that we accept Nate Borger on the library board.
Second.
And a second from Brad. All those in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Is there any opposed?
Yeah, he's the president.
Yeah,
He
Oh,
recommended.
he
yeah.
recommended it, okay. I thought he wanted to be on it too.
Yeah, I'm so confused for a second too.
I wasn't sure who mentioned it. I thought somebody on the council. I thought it might have been Brad, but I think somebody expressed interest to take Kenny Wallace's place. And it does have to be a D. So we'll just go ahead and seek
Table
that.
it,
We'll,
yeah.
we'll table it. And is there a motion to table?
Yeah.
Is there a second?
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Is there any opposed? And I think Todd, you said you're gonna stay on the solid waste.
Yes.
Make a motion, we retain Todd as our appointment to solid waste board.
Got a motion from Brad. Is there a second?
Second.
Have a motion, a second from Don. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Is there any opposed? Peterboa, we're in trouble with Peterboa, right? I mean, theoretically, Peterboa, we can hire somebody. They don't meet until when?
We meet about twice a year.
Yeah,
They're
we
not
met
gonna
Like
meet-
March,
Yeah.
Depends.
but not till the
It's only-
spring, like,
Well, no, we met based on how much there was to really do.
It's not that many times a year, right?
We met 3 or 4 times a year.
okay.
So-
Just depends on how much is going on that year.
Yeah, the
So,
first year I was on there.
Okay, then we'll just have to reach out, just let them know we're seeking somebody, but I know that you know, have to have the special qualifications, and so we can actually seek outside the county if we have
Yeah,
to.
your appointment's
Pay
actually been
somebody
vacant for
Oh, wow.
a
Yeah.
while.
Yeah, because I think I was the commissioner's appointment when I was on it.
And that's why you had a.
Did you want to be our
Is
appointment?
he allowed to do it without
No.
pay?
No. Not doing without that.
Gee,
So our appointment's a D, why isn't it an R?
Because commissioners.
Well, it can be. It
I
can
mean,
be
does it
a D or
matter?
R. They appointed an R at
Yeah.
their last meeting, so it has to be a D or an R, a D and an R for each appointment.
So they only have, there's only one person on that?
Yes.
Who's on it? Carol? What's her name?
Phil.
Oh,
I haven't
she's
got a
on
letter
that?
from Carol. Phil gave me a letter, but not Carol.
Yeah, I know Phil, she's full count.
yeah,
So you see the level. Somebody has to be a level
Phil
1.
is the level 3. Carol's the level 2, but I think Carol was getting her level 3.
Yeah. So, okay,
And then the third one doesn't have to have a level with my understanding.
needs a second one. Only one has to.
I think actually I'll term out on Marshall Stark. Nobody else it's a great board though, if somebody wants to get onto that board.
I'll make a motion, we retain Dave.
Okay, we have a motion. Is there a
Marshall
second?
Stark.
I'll second it.
Have a second from Kay. Is there any discussion? All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Is there any opposed? Encumbrances,
Do my encumbrance.
you want to just
Yep.
rattle off to us what the funds are, just so everybody knows real quick what goes with the numbers.
Me?
Yeah.
1168 for the health department, 1,000 is county general. I know we don't do encumbrances in county general, but that 482 was my fault. Yeah. so
That's
I
twice in
need to
2
do
months.
that one.
Okay.
1169 is local road LRS.
Okay.
And 1188 is assessor.
Make a motion, we approve the 2022 encumbrances. Fund 1168, do I need to do that?
Yeah.
$5,075.49. Fund $1,482.84. Fund 1169, $125,500. Fund 1188, $12,943.12.
So we have a motion for those encumbrances. Is there a second? Second from Don. Is there any further discussion? All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Is there any opposed?
The only reason for the big one for LRS is because they had a Southeastern Equipment has a new account, so it bounced back. And since it bounced back and we're paying them out of this year, you don't
But
want that
really,
to come
it
out
was-
of this year.
Really, they tried to pay it last year.
Right,
Okay.
right.
It seemed kind of strange, but I didn't know if they ordered extra bituminous or something. So I'm like,
But you were just gonna trust me and go with that? That's awesome.
well, when it comes to LRS, and since we have the top guy here too, like, kind of believable. So the next item on the list is discussion about the part-time and full-time hourly drivers. We've been meeting with the department. Each one of you also are, been aware of the discussions that are going on and the needs. Right now, we're down 5 drivers and just really having a hard time. I mean, my hat does go off to Dan though, because we've had some pretty inclement weather, a little abnormal as far as the amount of ice that keeps on trying to form on the roads. And you guys have done a really good job of keeping our roads clear. But, anytime we have less staff in that kind of a scenario, we're at risk. If we have some big superstorm that falls down on top of a bunch of ice. Long story short, as you know, we've been having a hard time hiring. And so one of the things we wanted to try to do was attract more talent by raising up the pay. He does have money in his budget. We met in his department and looked at some things. And so the proposal is to bring the hourly wages up by $2 an hour.
Which he has a paperwork explaining how he's gonna structure that if you want.
Did you make extra copies?
Yes.
Okay.
Oh my God.
I didn't know if you were staying over there with your mask on because you didn't want to get by Rachel. So I was like, just kind of keeping you out of her.
I kind of get that feeling, David.
We're gonna talk about how you hand these out next time.
Why, because you don't,
Last time I handed them out early, you collected them all.
I guess obviously I tend to leave my paperwork on the table.
Give me 10 minutes here.
Only 4 pages.
While Rachel's passing out, one of the things, I don't know how to structure it. One of the things that we did talk about too when we were meeting was the possibility of some kind of a scholarship program, because CDL becoming a more professional type certification starting in February. In fact, I wanted to talk, in the future, I want to talk to Mr. Reichert about some ideas that came up when I was meeting with HealthLink about how to retain young people to become doctors.
It's good material.
We need attorneys, and like, we just need so many different types of people in our county. Feel like
Working out there again?
scholarship discussions.
You working out there? again? Right,
Oh my God.
we appreciate that.
Yeah.
She wants to say.
Believe it or not.
Okay, so like Dave said, we're 5 drivers short right now, and as of Monday, we'll be 6 drivers short. We did hire a part-time employee, and they started today. So we'll see how this works out with the part-time employees.
I talked to a couple more part-timers that are maybes, that are retired too. Let's see.
So what we're proposing is, a $2 raise, and what we'd like to do is get a $1 raise right up front. And then the second dollar will come through evaluations. Currently, the evaluation form that we have at the highway department right now needs improvement. So I reached out and got one from LaPorte, the last guy in Marshall counties. And we're comparing those, and we're gonna try to customize.
And you're gonna add the on-call part to it.
Yes, absolutely. So we're hoping to have the evaluations done by May 1st. So the senior drivers will be evaluated once a year. New hires will be evaluated at 6 months and then again at a year, and after that, they'll be 0. I think that's pretty much what we discussed in the office.
Yeah.
So all
I
your,
think so.
full-time drivers now, they'll get the $2 this year if they pass the evaluation. Is that what You're gonna give them $1 now?
They're gonna get a $1 now, and then in 3 months when we do the evaluations, however they fall into the proceedings.
Yeah.
Some might get a quarter, some will get
Right,
50
right.
cents.
Okay,
Okay,
this is really petty, but we need to straighten it out probably. Give us a $2 raise?
Yeah.
Okay, well, the range on here is $2.03. Okay, so which way are we going by? The high one, right? Going by the 21-22. Adjustment from 1919 to 21-22. Yeah,
Okay.
just, I mean, not trying to be technical, but
No, you're right, yeah.
if it's gonna be 21-22, it is, then we don't talk about
Unless you apply
$2.
a percentage, yeah.
We just talk
You're
about this is what it is.
Yeah, okay. You're right.
Okay.
No, let's talk about the range. then. You're right. Yeah,
And
that's
then just
easier.
change it to 21-19.
Or just take the whole $2 out of there and say this is what the range is now. Is the raise.
Yeah.
Okay, so the highways range right now is 1819 to 1922.
Okay,
They got a. they got
So
a
it
lot
is
of-
actually
so it
$2.
actually is $2.
Yes.
Okay, my bad.
But it is a little confusing how
It is.
their range right now, they have certain points the driver has to hit to get, a higher pay. So he's gonna be doubling like the,
Okay.
The top of the scale is 21-22. We'll
And
just
just-
leave it at
And
that.
just for information, that it's not on here, Cass County, I know they're over $20 an hour now.
If you look at the second sheet,
Is it on there?
there's in the graph. We did a survey of local counties and got from there. So that shows you where Starke County falls. In line with the other counties.
So I'm just saying, Cass is a similar size county and they raised theirs up to.
Same reason.
Around 21. Yeah.
Of all these counties that we pulled, we're in the worst shape. Most
We're
other
gonna
counties are
move up
moving.
to the second best or the third best.
So they're missing like 2 people is the most that those counties are missing. So we're coming in at 6. There's part-time drivers. The range on here says 8 to 1950, but I think in the ads we advertise 15 to 1950 for part-time drivers. And that's
Yeah,
gonna be based
the
on
8 is
skill.
for the mowers and
Yeah,
stuff
this-
like that.
This is for winter drivers, not summer drivers.
Right.
That run mowers.
Sometimes some of the mowers in the past though have actually done mowing in the summer and then plowing in the winter too, though, right? Like I remember that.
It could be. I know the ones that we had this year.
So the 1919 to 21-19, got $2 variance in there when you hire someone,
Yeah.
depends on their skill, depending on experience,
Yes.
$2 leeway you have.
Yeah. If we find a NDOT driver with,
Right,
that's retired out of there with 20 years experience,
okay,
obviously, they're gonna be more than just
right.
somebody that's just coming in.
So you're saying a part-time driver could make more than the starting pay for the full-time, right? Could.
They could,
Could.
based upon their knowledge.
Experience.
There's no benefits to pay, so.
Right.
Right.
I make a motion, we approve the $2 pay raise for drivers for county highway.
We have a motion.
What are you throwing?
I got one question.
Oh.
Dave. This can come out of his last year's budget, right?
No,
His prospective budget has enough there to absorb it.
The prospective budget. So it's not an increase to
we will
There's
have
no
to increase-
additional to this budget.
It should not change my overall budget.
So I have a motion from Brad. Is there a second?
That's not the question.
Well, can we do it in discussion if there's a second? Just
I'll
since there's a motion
second
there.
it. I'll
I got a second from Don.
Okay,
before that,
Katie,
so-
that's
Okay,
fine.
now discussion.
Are you gonna do it separate, I assume, Brad, we're raising the part-time drivers too?
Yeah, both of them are the same.
Okay,
It's $2.
Okay.
both of them.
okay, because I don't think we stated this, they state as part-time, as full-time drivers? I just want to make sure.
I said CDL drivers.
CDL
Okay.
drivers.
All right, well, that's not the case, because some of your drivers that may plow won't have a CDL.
Well, they're only allowed to drive the small truck then.
Yeah, right,
But
Right.
They're not in the same category then.
Correct.
okay,
But we do have a small truck. that they
But
can
so
do.
the 1950 would be someone that has a CDL with
okay.
experience that could drive a big truck.
I just want to make sure we got all our bases covered.
That's why I volunteered.
And they may be driving the small
For free if
truck,
they get the pitch.
But they have a CDL.
Right.
So
Okay,
We gotta clear the road somewhere.
all right,
Okay, was there any further discussion? Howard, did you have anything?
No, answer.
Okay, we'll rest for a vote. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Is there any opposed? Thank you.
You have something else too?
Yeah.
No.
I also, thanks to Rachel. So, the community crossings that we're gonna apply for in 2022, the first call is for hot asphalt on Range Road from Brims to Total Road.
How did 600 East Bridge get bumped out of that?
again,
The total project cost is gonna be $999,304. With the request from Community Crossings for $749,478. With the Stark County Fund portion being $249,826. Then the second page is just a estimate of what we put into this.
What did we get last time? We got the max, we got 670 last time?
660.
660.
Chief needs us to allocate the funds, right?
No, they're already
This is pretty-
allocated.
this is-
They just, if this is kind of a technical, they just need this to move forward with.
They just need us to sign it?
Yeah, yeah.
What's
You
inside?
already,
You don't need it.
you've already appropriated the
That's
roads
okay.
and bridges. out of
You don't need a
Well,
motion.
you know that
No.
asphalt on this estimate's at $80.
that's not so bad. I just did $1 million, over $1 million worth for Cass County.
Okay.
It's gonna be in the ballpark.
So it'll be interesting to see where the asphalt really comes in at, because like the last year's community crossing that we're gonna do this year, we put it in at 60.
Yeah.
So we're gonna.
Yeah, so-
Watch that.
Where you go from
Last
here?
year, down like 605.
They-
Oh, well, I'll drag it out then.
But, culverts have doubled in
Yeah,
price.
they have.
Is somebody
So
representing
that's,
EMS
uh,
here?
Who did this?
Have you been told?
Who
what
did
is
this up?
EMA?
Wrote these up?
USI.
Have you been told anything?
Give me a phone.
What I'm asking you is.
If he's here, he's not at my next meeting.
Do
So
it, does it actually say EMTB in our thing where we have to actually
No,
create
it's just
an
EMT.
EMT?
No rhyme or reason how that is on
He's wanting to create a specialized EMT line item that gets paid more because he has these training funds but he needs to come back and explain it. You're
All
done.
set? All right, thank you.
Thank you, Dan, appreciate it.
Hopefully don't snow.
I don't think there's anything.
I thought that was fine. I gave one as 12 just for one. That'd be 800. 800 and 800 for here. Right. And 800. And the one who needs it. It's dead. This or something. I don't know. It's 1,200. That's 1,200. We got 13,000.
Yeah.
Okay. Now, Belt Foundation, skill contract. We've
You've got
actually
all
looked at
kinds
this a
of
couple of times. Quick discussion on the contract, talking to Lisa a little bit about it. Basically, what was changed here was exactly what we talked about, is there's gonna be a $40,000 there that can be appropriated for economic development. It might be the foundation that requests it, might be some new project that we've got till the end of the year to appropriate it. So nobody has to be in a big hurry, but this way that money still is earmarked for Economic Development Foundation and doesn't get put anywhere else. And so that was really the goal of how we did that. So otherwise, the commissioners have approved this today. I've seen this again myself. I don't know if everybody else has had a chance to come through it. Rachel's checked it out. Her attorney has checked it out. If we need any discussion now, if somebody wants to make a motion or. Got a motion, Don?
Oh, she
Don
doesn't
and
know
Don?
what you're doing.
Done.
Have a motion and a second. Is there any further discussion? About the contract with the Economic Development Foundation.
Was that Don and Don?
Don and Don.
Sure.
Don and Don.
Double D. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Is there any opposed?
Guys.
We appreciate your efforts. Which copy do you want?
You don't have to give me anything.
Thank you, Lisa.
Sure.
Unless, oh, I'm sorry, did you have?
Same for skill. I mean, that was that
Oh,
both.
it was full.
Okay, cool.
Do
We
you have
appreciate
anything
that.
else?
Bill Reichert is online. I just wanted to mention that Ron is completely retired from Skill
Yeah.
Foundation, both boards. Dr. Reichert is the interim skill director. We are, a group is working, a group from the skill board is working on a job description for that position. We expect to post it at the end of this month. They're gonna interview in March and hopefully have a new skill director on board by April 1st.
Oh, Bill's not gonna stay permanently?
I don't know if Bill wants that permanently. Who would want that job permanently?
Hey, Bill, I owe a visit to you too. I'm sorry, it's just been so busy, but actually some things came up the other day. I had a meeting with HealthLink about an idea about retaining talent in Stark County. So I'd like to run some things by you, and I also told that board that I would make an introduction to you as well. Wanted to-
Yeah, that's fine. Can you hear me okay, guys?
Yep.
And gals? Yep, be all ears on that. Be happy to listen.
I mean, we need everything here. We need doctors, we need lawyers,
We need
we need
male
laborers,
drivers.
we name it. But you know, the one thing we really need is lawyers, doctors. And you know, we need to retain some of those folks. So,
Sure.
CDL.
I'll make mine part with-
CDL drivers too.
fit CDL drivers too, and you know, so I mean, little, you know, I think the school can, you know, there's a way maybe where we can all work together as a community. But obviously the kids that are in the school, it'd be nice if they retain them, and it looks like Eric showed up just in time, because I was just gonna sit at one of the table that. So. You want to tell us about the EMTA thing here, Eric?
Yes. I'd love to. I guess we're done, at least.
What, am I done?
Oh, I'm sorry, you said that was it?
No, I got-
It's just, I saw him.
You're done,
Lisa, outta here.
I'm sorry.
I just have a couple of
No.
quick points to make.
I'm sorry. When you said that, you just said that bill, and then I thought that was all you're doing was.
One of the things that we do is help with the, well, we manage the lead track. And I reached out to Rachel to say what funding is left in the account. Because every user, they pay a per car rate. And at this time, there's about 436,000 in the rail fund. So I reached out to Tranco, who does all of the maintenance and repair on the tracks. And basically you have a copy of their scope of work for the next 3 years, which over the next 3 years comes out to about 300,000. And that's not time and material included. So what we, about 4 years ago, or in 19, I think they looked at, they lowered the rail car per car rate from $51 to $10. And then I bill Knox fertilizer and reagent for actual cost of all of the utility bills, maintenance, inspections and that sort of thing. So I think that we really need to talk to the two companies, which are Reagent and Knox Fertilizer, again, about increasing that per rail car rate for the maintenance replacement and that sort of thing, because if we're 3 years down the road and we're already at $300,000, we've got to raise those rates. I will be talking to JW Hicks. One of Charlie's big points way back in the day was to get JW Hicks on the rail. They're right next to the rail. We need to get them on there. I'm also working with a prospect on the toll building. And if we can get somebody back in there who will again use rail. When toll was there, they did not use much rail, a little bit, but we need to start looking at ways to increase that rail fund.
How was it dropped from from $50 to $10?
That's something the commissioners passed.
Yeah, in 19, and
Okay.
they just restructured it to where it's $10 per rail car that goes towards the maintenance, repair, replacement. And then there's an actual, all of the fees for utilities and insurance and everything else. Then that money, that's divided between the companies and they pay the actual and then they pay. We need one rate. My opinion is, let's make it not $51, not $10, but let's look at $35 to cover both of those.
How much money does it bring in a year, $10?
Well, for instance,
Yeah.
today we got a check from Knox Fertilizer for $1,200. So we're talking 120 cars for fourth quarter.
For the fourth quarter?
So if they did that 4 times a year, I mean, that's not a whole lot of money going into the
Takes a long time to get to $100,000 a year.
It's like 3 times.
We also need to check with some other counties too that have active rail spurs that, you know, the county's participating in funding, you know.
You're telling me to check or Lisa to check?
I'm just looking at you because I'm thinking out loud to see.
Well, I'm guessing there's more than just Tranco.
Yeah,
Tranco
rail
does,
works, I mean, there's a bunch of them.
we've got one group that works on signals. Right now, Tranco is our folks that works on the tracks, actually.
Rail works, they work on tracks, I've worked around.
We had over 300 tires replaced and it didn't cost anywhere
We
near
used
that
to
much
work
money.
with Railworks as
Yeah.
well, so.
Yeah.
Well, the fee should be close to what they pay, the cumulative of the factories should be close to what the maintenance of the rail cost, of the rail maintenance.
You know,
In my opinion.
actually at that level, shouldn't we put an RFP out or something to see and let somebody like and bid for that? I
Larry
mean,
went
that's-
through that process, I think, about a year ago, and
Nobody
this
else
is where
bid.
we ended up. So, I mean, it's something we can do again.
Well, Larry
I don't think-
never made us aware of it, so I think we should do it again, just so the council's aware
It
of
don't
what.
cost nothing anyhow to have-
Right,
put bids out there.
right,
Just
that's
to
a
be
lot of
safe.
money.
And I'm not sure who else is out there besides Railworks and Tranco.
There's
How-
several other ones too.
How often do they check on it, Lisa? Like they do once a year, do they give us?
Well, we have inspections twice a year on, well, we have inspections monthly on the signals. We have track inspections twice a year. And, yeah, so I mean, we can reach out and see what else.
Alright.
might be out there.
I mean, just so the people know, every couple of years, we might ask for bids again
Sure,
and keep them more honest.
Right.
yeah.
He said they
That is a lot.
tripled. what he
And you
paid.
know, that way, if you're gonna check, check like,
It is.
Jasper County has that
25.
rail spirit or,
I'll talk to Steven.
yeah. Just as a comparison, like, if he says, oh, we're $10, or if they're at $80, maybe 35 is
Exactly.
not unrealistic at all.
Mhm. Okay,
Because whoever said it 50 down to 10 is,
well, and I don't like the idea of 2 separate, billings to the companies.
yeah,
Let's have one fee per rail car that covers everything.
Yeah.
Because it's too difficult for us then to go back and say, okay, these were the actual expenses. This is what we need to bill for this. And,
yeah, they don't need to know what it's itemized out at. I mean, they need it, and.
yeah, so, yeah, we need to do something with that. Solar vendor list, Mary and I are working, and I know the county gave us quite a large list of contractors, but if you know of local contractors who we can add to the vendor list, right now, we're looking for bulk hay sales or straw or seeding or overseeding,
Like how much?
whatever they can get their hands on. I think this is probably for, I don't know if it's for next year, or it might be for,
You have slushers on there, I said, right?
have what,
Slushers.
what is?
Green Thumb, they're a gigantic
I'm
seeding
sh-
company.
Okay, oh, I'm sure.
Yeah,
Yeah.
they're all the Ford Logan's for.
Okay, anything local, anything you
Like I
guys
said,
can
we probably
provide
have,
that's-
we probably have access to that in Stark County, yeah.
Mhm. So we're putting that together. I did give you guys a copy of the activity report. Everybody gets it by email every month. That's the December report. I also, Mary and I worked on a new format for our annual report. It's there. It looks different than last year's. We were kind of like,
It's got pretty pictures.
it does have some visuals, which is better otherwise.
First picture.
Hopefully it's something or in a format that you guys like. If you don't, let us know, because last year, I don't think council or commissioners liked the way the report looked or how it was presented. So I want to make sure we're on track. It's one that we can share with the county, the city, the town of North Judson, and Hamlet. Just kind of, this is what we've been doing over the year. These are our goals for next year. So if you guys don't like the way it's presented, let us know, and we'll go back to the drawing board on that. So the other thing, yesterday I was on a conference call with Common Labs. So while they're not coming to the city of Knox, they have signed a lease with Poppins, and they're going to move into the Poppins building. I got a call from the fellow that owns the building in North Judson where they're currently at. They're getting ready to move out of there. He wants us to start marketing his building. They will be starting with the crew of 5 from North Judson here in about a month. Then they plan to have 15 people. So there'll be a 20
Also, they did
for the
tell you
phase 2.
finally.
And then their phase 3, and I don't know what the timeline is to eventually get to 40 employees. And so that's good. Of course, they want to know, what kind of incentives they can get while they'll be.
Of course, you didn't know how many jobs when we talked about this.
But yeah, but now I do.
you that. So that's helpful. Do
And
do they have an
yes.
attorney that's already put something together that what they're looking for, or?
No, but they do have whatever there's a program ed program through the state of Indiana. There will be some incentives there. They'll be bringing new equipment in. I suppose there could be some abatement on equipment. Since they're leasing, obviously there wouldn't be any type of abatement on the building because they don't own it. Now they could own it in 5 years or 10
Technically,
years.
that's in the Rosie.
It's in the rural opportunity zone, so I'm checking on new market tax credits to
Yeah,
see.
there should be something, probably not
there's
big,
something.
before
Right.
structuring it, but.
So I'm excited that they're coming. I'm sure the city of Knox is not overly excited that they're not coming to the city of Knox as they had planned,
That's all right, they got this good.
but we'll,
Still
we'll
center town.
every little, anything we can get into the county. Then, so my other point is, we need to sit down, county, us, to talk about, when these companies come along and say, what kind of incentives can you offer? I can't offer anything, but if we can put together like an incentive package that we could present, or do you just want me to say, go visit the council when you guys talk about
I
that?
think it's so unique. I mean, over the
It all
years, and
depends how many
especially,
jobs they
yeah,
have.
it's about job creation, because I mean, the thing is, they want to come in and say, okay, well, we want to get an abatement. Okay, well, there's two ways we make money off of them. 2 types of taxes, and so if they're not going to create jobs, then we need to have, a bunch of personal property that we can tax.
Mhm.
One or the other. I mean,
Right.
there's no reason to, abate it down and then not get anything out of it,
Sure.
or on top of it, they pay $9 an hour, and we've had some other things, where it's been a lesson learned, not necessarily for the county, but for the city.
Sure.
And so,
Well, and then my only other point, and then I'll shut up, is so we have about 18 manufacturers in Stark County that I try to keep happy. We have to, fill those jobs, train those folks. And if we try to, and don't get me wrong, of course, I want to bring in, attract new business anytime we can, but realistically, do we want to bring in a company with 500 to 2,000 jobs? What is that going to do to our industries that we have here? I mean, everybody's already raised their wages. And, there's nothing wrong. There's nothing wrong with good competition. But you also have the folks that go from company to company to company to company. And so one of my goals is to make sure that our current employers are happy, that we try and provide the training, we try and provide, the workforce. And again, it's important, but so is retaining our companies that we have here that have been here for a long time. So I'm always looking for new ventures coming into town and that sort of thing, and we'll continue. I just think that we have to make sure that our current workforce and companies are.
You know, I'm glad you brought that up because over the years, and I don't know if we even did this last year, but we used to have workforce development would come in and tell us how they're gonna start out the year, how they're gonna partner with economic development. You know, the thing that is that it's glaring about Stark County is we have literacy problems. We have adult education issues here. You know, it's great. We talk about a lot of the other things that happen, you know, and I know there's some discussion about like a CDL program potentially, like there's other things like that. But that's the problem is, you know, the pool, that it just isn't there too for some of these employers. And yes, we do want to get one more company in here. We've got some ideas we've kicked around for some things, you know, maybe a couple hundred more jobs, but you're right. We want to fill these other jobs too. But like Brad said, keeps them honest. You know, it gets things more competitive. You know, there is some survival of the fittest, unfortunately, that happens in industry.
Right.
You know, but on the same token, we've got a nice variety here and all of them are hiring from Otis
Oh, yeah.
to, you know, you name it, to, you know, Art Park here, you know, to over in the Hamlet area now, with, you know, different employers.
Oh, yeah.
But I think, at least personally, the thing that needs to be done is we need to address adult education problems here. I mean, there's enough people that could gain skills and could work, but right now they're just not hireable.
One point I will mention, and this is a good thing, one of the employment agencies in town has said that the traffic coming into the office is increasing every single week. So that's a good thing. People are at least wanting to get back to work or whatever the situation. So, yeah, so that's where we are. And I will tell you that the hourly wage in the county has gone up. It's in the annual report there.
Well, we saw drivers just went up.
Quite a bit. I mean, you know, where we were paying $12 an hour out in the factories are at 16 now. $16 to $22 is the average, starting to average wage in of the respondents to my survey.
Right.
So,
You heard anything about a warehouse coming to Hamlet?
no. No, and.
That's the rumor.
Okay,
It's something to do with Hobby Lobby.
really?
Some lady that supplies crafts to Hobby Lobby. Right down the road from Todd's house.
Well, I'll tell you, we're marketing that site right off of 30 and.
This is not really right off of 30. It's just out in the middle of nowhere.
Really? Okay. Well, and yeah, so I don't
She
know.
did have
everything that's
stuff in
going on, but
Judson, but she's moving it up here now. And then she's gonna build a warehouse there, I guess.
haven't heard a word.
It's got a nice piece of property. That's got a nice piece of property. I like that building. It's very much. No, not.
So I think that's about all I have. If anybody has questions.
One time, Lisa, you told us how many, the industry in the county needed more, how many workers they needed to hire. Is that getting any better?
Well, when my last survey, I got 6 respondents from 6 of the companies back. Of those 6 companies, there are still 60 open jobs.
Okay.
So it's, you know, maybe gotten a little bit better, but like Dave's right, every single employer is still hiring.
Right.
So.
Is Bill still on the call?
No.
No.
You know, just kind of a note between you and I. One of the other things I want to find out too is what's the retention of not just students that graduate from high school, but the ones that go to secondary education for anything? How many of them start counting? We need to do a study on that,
Sure.
because that's the one thing we need to look at. Like
I
that's
bet
where
you-
we're missing it.
Most of them are employed at the schools.
The ones that stay, yeah.
So you're saying the ones that go to college and come back?
Yeah, I would bet most of them
Not just
are
college,
employed
some
by the
kind of
schools.
secondary education, technical school, you know, anything.
You guys are taking forever. I gotta entertain
Yeah,
myself.
Why do you have to talk about me calling about my cat?
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Thanks, Rachel.
Sorry for rushing you.
No problem.
I thought we could, like,
It's our first
Got my
night with our
cat-
new
cat
attorney. I'm
to
just kind
adjust
of
the
trying to be
first day.
conscious of the time too, so.
But I think that 4:30.
He doesn't have another meeting after this. so.
Not today,
That isn't even making-
not
that's
today,
all
but
my
this is a
fault.
test run for, just to tell him how long we're normally gonna take.
They can
wait on this. We got stuff to do, right?
Yes.
So creating the EMTA position.
Yes, sir.
What's the current range for the EMT,
Regular
There is no
EMT.
B,
county firemen?
it's just EMT. There's no
It's just
B.
EMT, but it's
Oh, really?
B is, wow, it's, because they don't
Maybe
do
I'll
the
come.
advanced stuff.
Oh.
EMT right now makes 14.71 an hour. Tops out, that's after the 3% raise this year.
That's the top.
That's
for
top.
EMTB.
Yeah, 14.71. It would have been 14.28 to 3%. For that 14.71. So the advanced EMT, for everyone who doesn't know, my partner with me tonight, we didn't plan this all day. I told you guys in the beginning meeting, Jeff is an advanced EMT. I am a paramedic, so what would happen if I didn't work the shift tonight? I've been on shift since last night. An EMT could fill a spot. Jeff can start IVs, Jeff can give medicines, he can put a patient on monitor. He would call for us if it was a full arrest, something above his scope. What you're seeing in front of you is job description that the EMT advanced can do. He can give medicines, IO, IV, breathing treatments, epi 1 to 1,000, 1 to 10,000, it's just the same drug, different dosage. But this is something you have to be trained in. Jeff has gone through training before. Right now we have Jeff who's full-time and we have one part-time from who's like Lacey. Lacey's an advanced EMT, part-time EMT.
So we never hired advanced EMTs before?
They were never in the scope of practice.
Oh.
Dr. Maravich didn't allow it. As of April 1st, we have a new medical director.
Because they had them in order.
Some of them do, yeah. Some
April 1st of
this year,
22.
yes. Dr.
We're getting
Maravich,
a new doctor.
Dr. Maravich didn't want to renew. Dr. Moon is a ER doctor. He's from Illinois, originally from Hawaii. He's gonna be attending all of our trainings and meetings. We have him set up where he'll work every Sunday. So our meetings are typically last Monday at 9 o'clock here. He gets off at 9 o'clock from their training, he's here. We're even talking about our protocols, putting in the advance, as well as changing our drugs up to save money.
So how much are you asking for?
I would love 30, I'm just kidding. My goal right now is $17.50 an hour, and I did some math. At $17.50 an hour, that gives a change of $2.79. A full-time employee works 2,496 set hours. That just under 7,000. That'd be a total of $6,963.84.
How much do part-time paramedics make right now?
They make, part-time medics make,
1796 to 1957.
yeah, 1957 would be the top.
So that's the difference without the difference with all the taxes and everything else we have to pay. That's
Yes.
just, that's the margin rate,
That's the
straight
monetary.
wage,
Yes, sir.
So then
another 30%.
it would make more sense to make a range though, like instead of just topping it out 1750, like 1471 to 17. Like what is something to incentivize somebody to go from a B to an A then?
That's
Because obviously we're saving money from a paramedic then. If we can get some MTAs.
and that's the one thing that I talked about in this morning's meeting was with Lisa here, and she's still here. When the county got that grant for education for workforce development, I called her the next day. I said, "You are the most important person in my world right now. How can you help my employees?" I can't pay for education. I only have a $1,500 budget for education. An EMT class is anywhere from $400 to $800 typically. Advanced school for paramedics, critical care, it's $1,500 per student. So with Lisa and the education grant, they're allowing up to $50,000 per entity or $5,000 per employee. And as long as it's a 40-hour class and they apply for it, they being the employee, they can go to this class. But part of the incentive is you gotta have a wage increase or some kind of reason why you're getting that goal. So this is the other part of that process of why we're trying to go up to $17.50 an hour.
If they become a firefighter, we can get it for them for free.
This is true, but we don't have paid firefighters in this county.
Don't need paid firefighters. We can get you, we can get, you
Oh,
can
yeah,
get the
you send the
EMT
school.
for it for free.
Yeah, but that's not advanced. They don't offer that.
And this is through work one, actually, the
Yeah.
next level jobs, grant money. that's
I'm just
out
trying
there.
to get us more firefighters.
I know. You can send my detective for example. But our
got-
goal is
Zero for that.
0.
Not one person applied for that.
So there is, the program is, advanced EMT is a 3-month process. They go for 8 hours a week. So you're, what is that, about 90, 100 hours overall, which qualifies you to have a minimum of 40 hours.
But we're not gonna pay them while they're going to class.
No, they're still basic. You're working basic. We're not paying for them to go to classes.
Right.
We'll pay them once they graduate and they show me proof that on that next pay cycle, obviously we have to put in a change of pay paperwork. It goes upstairs and whatever that day is, that they're not getting retro paid,
We're
nothing like
also
that.
not, they're not gonna go to class on the clock either.
No,
So
sir.
everybody's clear about that.
Oh, yeah.
So they would go from a regular EMT top at $14.71 an hour.
1471.
And when they became a EMT advanced,
Yes, sir.
they would be bumped to $17.50 an hour.
Max is 1750.
If we did approve it, I'd prefer that you slide it, because then it slides right over from A to B or B to A. From 14, make it 1471 to 1750 would make more sense.
Well, I agree with that. And, you know, we're sitting here talking about, and I'm not making light of it, but we're talking about county highway trucks being first responders. I agree with that. We got salt, we've got to sand, we got to take care of these roads. But your people are also ultimate first responders in this county. They're lifesavers is what they are.
Yes, sir.
And we didn't have any problem pumping the
Nothing good in it.
truck drivers. And I understand there's a shortage of truck drivers, but we didn't have a problem moving their pay. To me, this sounds reasonable and an incentive
Can you do it in this
to
budget?
have more
That's the
highly
big
trained
difference.
first responders in this county.
I guess the big difference, Howard, is they did it in their budget.
Right,
He
I
can't do
understand.
it in his budget.
Right, I understand.
And there's no.
No,
there's no taxpayer money,
I
right?
understand there's no taxpayer money there, but I think one of our number one
Which is not gonna take place
insights
till
in this
April.
county should be to look out
April
after public health.
Because
Well, also in theory though, too, that's only if we had a full boat of part-time medics. I mean, we have budget for part-time medics that we're not filling the medic positions, I thought.
I have 2 part-time medics.
well, if he's working every day, we're not filling something.
Yeah, I had worked 89 hours last week.
Right.
That's
I
what I
got paid
mean.
for
I just,
36.
I mean, it's almost like
appreciate
making up
it.
for the medics we don't have.
I
right?
warned
And
you.
it affects my budget. It makes me happy. And if it makes you happy by not spending that
How many
budget.
part-time medics do we have spots for? I'm thinking right now, we're not even full on part-time medics as it is.
We're not even full in part-time or full-time medics or EMTs.
Right, I'm just saying budget wise, we may not be short because they're gonna be working that instead of medics, you know what I mean?
How many class A do you have right now that you immediately?
One full-time job
Bring it up. here.
Okay.
and then 1 part-time when they
First thing they did,
we have
somebody.
mandatory where
the
they have to
state
work
removed
24
the
hours.
sign on highway.
And how
really sign up.
Total
How
road.
many
It's not
do you
there anymore.
expect would?
Right now we
It's
have
removed. But
5
now how much
willing
is
to
it?
go to the class right now. Now, let's say
Now,
4 of them pass. I'm
This
not
is
gonna
what we
say,
have done.
it's not an easy class.
Right, I
There's one
understand.
store
I
here.
have 4 pass.
For Nelly.
Okay, so that's an increase of,
Got another store
call
right
it
here.
$3 per
For
person
Nelly's,
per
not for
hour.
Nelly, which is rich,
Um,
honey, carpet.
I mean, I can sit here and figure that out,
Got
but
another big store there. called
Well,
Richard's
let me ask you this, in
Photos.
in other parts of your
30,000.
budget, what
There
else are
you
you
go.
planning on buying? Like you bought some cabinets
You
and
know
stuff
the old
already.
Lumberg store used to
What
be
else are you
there?
like, just in case like we
That's
do
gonna be
this, we need to
reopened.
move money from other places
You're down
later.
there with that.
And so we have money, you
And,
know, available
this one
funds,
here
like what,
Is,
you know, like what are you gonna bring
I
in
don't
the
know how
future?
we can
What do
right
you
there.
got in your plan, your short-term plan of things that
Okay.
you're planning on bringing the commissioners to
Road.
buy that we don't know about?
Range Road right now.
right now,
It's
the
being
only
tore off two
thing I
pieces
talked
of
to you
traffic.
about was last month was the ambulance. But I need to
It's
get
getting-
3 more quotes or
And
2
these
more quotes.
people are
I
screaming.
requested 3 more today.
Why can't they fix our road?
But that to save you guys headaches on
Thousands
the
of
ambulance.
people go down that
Even
road.
if you ordered it now, I couldn't get it till December of
Bailey's,
23.
all of these, if you don't believe it, go.
So they're talking
Same problem we got with the
What I'm trying to do.
$600
I wouldn't- I
600
wouldn't-
day
Then they calling me.
before
"Why
we
didn't
get an
you
ambulance."
you guys- my God,
Then you probably wouldn't get billed till 24. So
Well, can you? So.
That's
the only
even
thing
if we
I'm gonna
ordered
do
it
is to
right
bring it
now.
up to this board.
Yeah,
See if
but
something
the
can be
cabinets
done.
I
that's
paid
a
for.
problem
This
we're
road
gonna
is
run
not gonna
into
last.
is
Main road,
anything we're gonna
Highway
wanna
10,
buy new,
highway,
we're gonna have to pre-plan and order in advance.
8
Because even
is
if
gonna
I,
be
we
struck.
talk about my car, we joke about my car all the time.
When you
If I
bring it
ordered
up,
a brand new
think
Ford
that's
Explorer
what
right
we
now,
just talked about we're doing
it's
this
8 months
year
before I
with
can get it.
the hot
And they're gonna do it. The road needs to be widened. It needs.
For you to run an
it
effective and efficient
needs
EMS
to be a
service,
high.
Yes, sir.
how
I
many
mean,
class
sometimes
A
that-
EMTs?
I've seen as many as 15,
You
20
need.
cars back.
Mhm.
Time, right
Well,
down
because
the
we're
road.
short 3 paramedics,
And when they got.
I'm gonna say 3 advanced EMTs.
You know,
Because
the
they
ditch
can
is out there,
do
the ditch right about halfway.
90%.
If
I
you
would say
got somebody
90%
coming
of what a
across
medic
there,
can do. They can't intubate,
I
but they
mean,
can't,
if you know, sometimes there's.
some drugs they can't give that we
You see
can.
They
three or
can
four
do
cars
90%
on
of what
each
a
side.
paramedic
90% of what a medic can
A
do.
paramedic.
Yeah.
Well,
Just turn up
I
the
mean,
volume,
and it-
Anita.
it is-
here's one thing, here's one way to look
This
at this.
area right here is.
Like, if you're willing to work with us and you approve this, we can watch your budget. We can try it out for the first, say, 6 months and look and see how we're tracking on the budget. I mean, that would be the way to do it. I mean, I'd like to see us hire some more
Have you seen Bailey's on
advanced,
Saturday?
because, you know, you're right, like, they can do most of the stuff we need anyways. You know, and we may be able to attract more advanced or get more of our EMTs to become advanced.
What's the-
But I mean, we can debate right now, all, you know,
What's
all
the
about.
what's the starting pay for a paramedic?
Right now,
I mean,
it's
I've seen a lot.
1796.
1796 and tops out at 1957.
So there, that would be real close to a paramedic. so.
This is.
Right, I mean, you're just short, you're doing 90%,
And
so
They
you
still.
average
I
out,
tell my son,
comes about 90% of the pay.
Yeah, and I have another question.
Yes, sir.
If they say they
So
become
anyway, I'm gonna bring it up and see if they.
class A EMTs,
Okay,
will this
Or
training
at least they could do.
go
things
toward
like
people becoming a paramedic in the future or not?
Check it
Or is
out.
that, or do they have? to
there
learn
are,
a
there
whole
are
training?
bridge programs.
That road
That's what I'm
Yes,
asking.
there's
being
bridge
worn out.
programs where you go from advanced paramedic.
Total road right
Um,
through there.
And really, all it is about,
So much traffic.
if I'm right, it's about another 5 months of,
Okay. Well, I
Something's gotta
didn't
be
know if this
done.
would be, if this would
Because I live
be a
there
step
too.
up.
yeah, it could be a step, yeah. And part of
My God.
Lisa or the workforce, or work one development, that can be another step if they want to do the bridge from advanced to paramedic.
Right.
But once again, you're only allowed 5,000 a year, so depends how much money is left for that
Yeah,
person.
let's do this. What, I mean, if it's agreeable, why don't we look for a motion?
I make a motion
6 months, we'll look at it.
that we approve a pay rate of $14.71 to $17.50 for EMTA and add that to the salary ordinance
I'll second that.
with a revisit in June.
I do have one question
Go on.
for the,
We have a motion and a second.
yeah, sorry.
Is there any discussion from the council?
Who's the second?
Howard.
I got a question. What are we gonna do in 6 months if it's not working?
Well, we'll have to try to find some.
On 6 months, we're actually only gonna be 2 months in.
Appropriate, yeah. At least that gives a little taste of it, just to see, you know, if we have to slow
How good the
down or
budget's
whatever.
up.
Well, because you're not starting until April,
April, yeah.
Okay.
so
But you already have one, so we're already gonna be paying out one right now.
That was
right?
my question,
not till April.
No,
because he can't start his protocols till April 1st when a new doctor takes over.
oh, okay.
So they can't pay him for.
Pay attention.
Right. But that's my question is, because we did the tier, the step program for the basic and the paramedic before. So it's 1471, 60 days, then the 1750, or we go in April 1st or whatever that pay, you know, the date on that, the salary,
You have 60 days between each
right,
stage when you have 3 stages.
okay.
And
But
he
this will
only
be a
has 2.
Tuesday, so it's just 60 days.
Yep.
Okay, that's, I just want to verify that. Sorry.
Do you have an ambulance quote?
I have one, it's 205,000. You just say no. Prices go up in February.
That's all right. We'll roll the dice on that. We're not really making decisions about.
Yeah,
And that's
Um,
for
Osage,
what we have,
the same one that we have right now, Medic 3.
we gave 134.
Well.
It
in his-
didn't have a power cut and it didn't have a power load. That's 48,000 by itself. Starting next month, that's gonna be 51,000.
And this has that or does not?
The ambulance quote, that it had it at 205 before the wage increase.
How's that? Remember, we purchased a used ambulance,
For 130.
remember that?
Yeah.
Is that holding up? Is that new?
That's the one out in Medic 1, that's the remount. Is that the one you're talking about?
It was a used
Oh, you're
car.
talking about the red one?
We
The
bought
red
it, didn't we
one.
buy a demo?
Brand new.
Oh,
The $130,000.
That was a brand new
one.
one.
Yeah,
But-
the $40,000 was the used.
Right.
the red one, that's, if you go back and look at all this stuff I turned in, I would say 60% of the bills to fix an ambulance is for the red truck. That truck, I try not to use it now.
Let's say, for
Because it uses so
example,
much money.
let's say, for example, you spent $10,000 to fix a truck a year. That would take 20 years to equal to a new ambulance. I'm not worried
Right.
about $10,000 in maintenance.
Okay,
I'd rather not spend taxpayer dollars, if we don't have to, so.
right,
But I think, 3,000, it'll give us some chance to plan more and just see, we're gonna need to review your current assets. Currently, what each one of them are
Yes, please.
spending, you know what I'm saying? I mean,
Yeah.
this is not on the agenda for tonight.
Okay.
We're not gonna make it an agenda discussion, but, we can in the future.
I'd still like seeing, look for used ones or
Yeah.
demos.
Right.
Just keep your eyes open, not saying.
that one of the gentlemen I talked today, he's putting in a demo. I said, I'll be glad to look at it. As long as it's a class 3,
Right,
I want the same style, same box size. I don't want anything longer. I definitely can't have anything wider. Make it the same, show me what you have, so I can present it to you guys.
That's what I was gonna ask you about, all this money on the garage doors. I thought maybe they had to do with something making them wider or something like what? Why did we have all of a sudden need all this money for garage doors?
Well, $3,600 is garage door openers that are 32 years old. That's for 2. That's
how much?
3,600 and I think like $36 or
For
something.
2 garage door openers?
Mhm.
How many places bid on that?
The other one I did, I gave another quote, was $8,800. That's for garage door openers and a door.
Is it powered by nuclear reactors or?
See, things are not cheap nowadays. But I understand, yeah. One
Those
door
were not-
itself,
Those were Stark County companies,
yeah, that was
DC?
DC garage.
Wow.
I can't get a door for the shop until I ordered it in October and I can't get it until June.
Took me 9 months to get a couch.
Was it
I hear you.
Was it $8,800?
Well, it's 30 feet wide and
Oh, okay.
15
So
feet
it's
tall.
more than that, yeah. But,
So,
sorry.
because one of the things I want to say here, because, I've been hearing, since we're talking about this, like, we still like to take care of things. Like, I heard recently about the tough books, like all these tough books that we bought fairly recently are all garbage. I want to make sure, is that on your inspection list too, like the electronic equipment?
Like when they go in the
Because
morning,
Joe, I work with EMA, right? So I know that we bought all these tough books, but I heard they're all destroyed. Now we're looking for a new grant for tough books.
they're not all destroyed. One had a motherboard go bad completely. That's a warranty issue. Give it to Richard. He worked with Dell getting that replaced. That's not my thing.
Okay,
That was Medic 3. As we're getting that one back, Medic 1, if you look at your screen, can I use your sheet real quick?
Sure.
As an example. This is supposed to be your screen, and this is what you see here up. That's a brand new tough book. Never been dropped, it's in a cradle, and that's how it's working. So it's not us dropping them. And that is the tablet for Medic 1. That's why there's no tablet in Medic 1 if you go outside right now. There's the old Dell tough books that's sitting in the back plugged in right now. That is what we're using, but it's not compatible with the cradle.
can you have Richard call me tomorrow, please?
Yeah.
I want him to get a hold of Dell and find out like if this is the product, like, because this is upsetting to me when I thought of it. So you're telling me only 2 out of the 10 are out of service, and the other 8 are still functional?
That the first one that went out is back. So we have 9.
Okay,
How old are they?
Not even a year. Right.
If it's the product, maybe it's still
Something like that.
warranty.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah, we're turning them out on a warranty. It's not, I'm not paying for that.
I mean, I'm only asking because, you know, like we're talking about expensive ambulances and things like that. I mean, lately, we've gotten less mirrors scraped off and all these other things, but, you know, some of this equipment of ours is just, you know, takes a beating sometime, and I just, you know, wanted to.
Which-
throw that out there.
Back to the highway department, that's part of their,
And we asked
Part of the
them, we
budget.
asked,
No,
we asked
that's-
them to add that to their inspection.
or
That's
their
why I was wondering. if
evaluation
The evaluation too, but
of
also.
the
their-
employees.
I can tell you every morning, like Jeff and I were on shift today. In the morning, you go through your normal routine. But what I'm asking everybody to do is that tablet or tough book in your truck, open it up. Our program is on a tough book. So start doing your checks on your tough book. What does that do? Make sure your laptop works or the tough book. Make sure is that your internet's working. Because we have those cards, I don't, we're trying to switch over to AT&T. That's a Richard thing. We're working on that to hopefully save us some money. So that part works. And plus, you hit enter on the report today, pops up, I can see that you did the check for today. If you didn't do it, why didn't you do it? So it's just another way for me to check a balance. You're not doing your job.
I'll talk to Richard too about that thing. If it's more of the product, I just want to make sure that we're not beating that stuff up, because too many times we've gone through things where the county gets grants and the stuff just gets torn up, like the 800 radios and, you know, there's so many things, you know.
I can't leave yet because you guys made a motion, someone seconded, and we didn't do anything else.
I think we already did. All in favor?
We didn't.
Yep, nobody voted.
All in favor?
All right,
Mike,
Is there any opposed? All right. Anything else for me? No.
Thank you.
No?
So.
oh, Dave,
Prosecutor transfer, I made notes over the top of it.
Dave. If you get a chance, I got something that I want to present too.
Okay, I'll put you on there too. Number 8. Or was it about the prosecutor's transfer? Does it have to do with that?
No.
Okay, no problem.
you're number 12 then, Don.
Oh, well, oh, no.
So-
No.
The prosecutor transfer was you working to try to clean up some of the,
Yes,
is the prosecutor on?
no,
She doesn't know about this.
she doesn't even know about.
Yeah, I
this.
didn't think so. We talked about this, so this is just, that's what that is. That's just.
Make a motion. We do an additional appropriation for the prosecutor in line item clerk, social security, second clerk, longevity in the amount of $1,407.68. And make a reduction in health insurance in that same $1,407.68.
I have a motion and a second. Is there any further discussion? All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
And is there any opposed? Since we're on the prosecutor, and your staff have looked through that whole thing about when they were out of their office and all that, it's all straightened out to, you know, as far as the payroll and vacation and all that stuff.
Hopefully.
That shoulder shrug. Like, I'm over it. I don't even care.
So the next item on the list is actually Charlie Cheswick calling about this because this must have come up today in the commissioners. I didn't go to the commissioners meeting today, which I usually do, but with a question of what was going on exactly, and because he heard that we were taking away their Kim Cap. It's not that we're taking away. The discussion that we've had, and we've had this before, is just being responsible with the spending. And I know that each of you have expressed interest and concern that out of a, you know, $200,000 budget, we've already spent $50,000. 60 now, that's right. All collectively on items that Brad was actually looking through DRMO to get for free. And so it's concerning that we're gonna run out quickly. And I think maybe there might be just some, you know, ideas like, hey, we've got other money coming through the pipeline or whatever else, but we're tough. Exactly. We're saving that money just in case, because we know hard times are coming. So, but basically what would happen then with this discussion is that the money would be unappropriated from that fund. And then we would do an appropriation, not unlike the other departments do, where they send an appropriation, we want to spend this money, and then it would come up for consideration to the council. we were elected to conserve or
Good
at least
count.
oversee taxpayer dollars. And so that's exactly something that would be done in that case.
I guess I don't know when it changed from. We worked on it all as a team on, hey, we want to buy an ambulance. And we discussed it, they discussed it, we both approved it. Now, oh, he wants an ambulance? Get it for him.
Yeah.
You know, and we have no say so in that. And we're the ones that are responsible for the fiscal part of the county. So when we run out of money, then it's our problem to figure out, well,
For us to put the brakes on it makes a lot of sense. I mean, it helped when we had joint meetings. Because I
lot.
think in those times, I think, well, the past commissioners, I think the idea was, hey, that's a great night to share it with council. Let's work on those kind of things together on spending money.
I always thought,
That's what I-
like they went to the commissioners and asked them to buy something like Brad said, the ambulance or whatever. Then the commissioners always said, take it to the council and see where they can come up with the money.
they approved the purchase
Yes,
pending.
the money.
Yeah, now it's just a slush fund they just use, like, you can.
So I did check with the DLGF. Fred said that there was two ways to do it, but I think the easiest way is to do a reduction in the resolution, a reduction resolution. So you wouldn't vote on anything tonight. You would tell me how much you want to reduce the appropriation for. Justin will make up a resolution reducing that, and then you would vote on it at the next meeting.
It'll all be drawn by then.
The only problem is there's another commissioner meeting before then. What's the
Two
other
of them.
option?
That is it's still, the other option is to publish it. There's nothing, I mean, I guess you could vote on the reduction resolution pending on it being prepared and, that would enact it tonight.
What will the words be in the resolution besides we've resolved that we are going to reduce it by X dollars? Why couldn't we write it right here?
I guess you could write it right here.
Well, not us, Justin.
Well, we can,
It doesn't need to be.
it would be written and Justin would give us his opinion. on it.
If you give me a little bit more of the parameters, since I'm jumping into the discussion afterwards, I've done it before, in an emergency resolution, or you can call a special session,
I
I
think
guess.
it's an
but-
You
emergency.
can approve it tonight and then pending the actual signing, I mean, it can be approved tonight.
I mean, I'm just saying, I think we can write it tonight.
So you're saying there's 140,000 left?
It was 250 to begin with, so there's
But
190.
looking back, this is exactly how.
roughly, because, I mean, like EMS, they spent $3,600 out of there
Yeah, okay.
to,
Yeah, just
so.
roughly,
roughly
This is how
190.
2021 started as well.
yeah.
Yeah, we spent, they
$100,000 sidewalk.
$114,000, yes.
Yeah, it's gotta stop.
Because people are coming to us, our taxpayers, because why are you letting all this money get
I
spent like
got my
this?
skin ripped off, right down to the fact of why are you buying trucks out of
Yeah,
town and
I
not
would
buying
too.
from the local
I
Chevy
would too.
dealership when we have a new owner?
Well, he's got
it's
a word
gotta stop.
format up, so I guess we're doing this now.
If that's the council request, that's what I'm here for.
Sir, if you don't mind, I mean, either way, it's gonna be time put into it, Now, the question is, do we leave any of there for absolute emergency?
I would
Not
say
even
some,
close with
I would
that.
say some for an emergency. I mean, you know what I mean? I don't wanna, something real urgent come up and they have to wait for a meeting or call a special meeting.
Something life changing.
What's the
Right.
definition of some?
$3,000 bucks, 3,000?
I'd say
Definition of
10.
none.
I say, I mean, that's
That's way
mine.
less
You
than
gotta
I
do what you
What do
want.
you think?
10.
Are you saying 375?
No, I was gonna go
Yeah, I
with
agree with that.
50,
Doc.
but
That's what I thought.
I agree with that.
He says 10.
Don's our ex-commissioner on board.
What are you thinking, Brad?
25.
I said 50, but go ahead with your 10.
Oh, wait.
I think 50 is too much.
I think so too.
What's the difference? Do
Well,
25.
let's
Okay,
go
just
through
said-
the list of what's been
Wait.
bought so far then, just to see like non-emergency things that have been bought.
Okay,
3,600 for a garage door, what else?
38,000 total.
38,000 for a pickup.
Yep.
How old was that pickup?
It's a 20, what year is your pickup?
2021.
Okay,
$11,000 for a side by side, 3,000
Well-
for a trailer, right?
hold on. Let me get exact amounts.
That's pretty close.
Man,
I'm just trying to. think
my
of-
big complaint is just the
Yeah,
fact that
3,000 for
like,
the-
I went out to the sheriff's department
And about 12,000 for the side by
a
side.
couple weeks ago and met with then Chief Deputy Linderman. And he was trying to get me back on the DRMO website. And he was telling me and showing me a lot of the stuff that the sheriff's department's got from there. They've got 2 or 3 4-door Duramax Chevy 3/4 tons free.
Nice ones too. I saw.
They have 2 quads free. Well, that quad could replace the side by side. The trucks could replace it. And these trucks have 20, 30,000 miles on them. There's cars,
looking one.
there's everything on there.
Yeah.
I think 25,000.
Where are they getting these from?
The DRMO,
Like military.
I'm pretty sure the auditor needs a vehicle.
And it's been discussed
See, it's
before, I
been
believe.
discussed.
Right?
yes, in our joint meeting, we discussed it, not the auditor vehicle,
No.
the
DRMO.
DRMO
Yeah,
stuff.
'cause Bill said,
That's why I say I think somebody on our board or somebody needs a copy of that to be looking at that
Yeah.
stuff.
Well, even Bill Craze said he was looking at at the DRMO. I mean, so, but then we bought a side by side, so I don't know.
Can anybody get on that, Brad, or you gotta?
You have to be registered with the state. We were with the fire department, and if you don't log on every so often, it kicks you off and your username and password's no longer any good. So John's trying to get me a new username and password so I can get back on.
Okay. I mean, just so we know what's out there. also.
Right. You know, there's excavators, there's
Another
bulldozers.
one of those.
Our fire department just bought a tower from Greensburg, and when we were down there, they have 2 fire engines that they got off of here,
135.
Really?
and they're like 2016s.
Wow.
Really? Wow.
One has an RPG hole on the side, but that's beside the point.
Maybe 138. Oh my gosh.
As long as it didn't punch a tank. Okay, so it sounds like we have a little bit of range we were discussing. Again, I do defer to Don because he's our commissioner. So let's think about kind of emergencies that could be heating, air conditioning,
Radio,
radio.
radios would be huge.
Yeah, but I mean theoretically, that would take some time, like that,
You
we
know,
have a contract right now.
if we
with them.
lose a vehicle, I
We
don't
wait on the insurance.
I don't
company.
contact it, think of that as an emergency. Other than, I guess, maybe an ambulance.
So we're thinking 10,000.
But even in like an ambulance should have a quick emergency meeting for all of us. to be
Right.
involved. I mean, if it come that emergency or whatever.
For an emergency, for a meeting, it's 48.
Give me a second. I gotta find the phone number.
Kick Anita off.
What? I can't see from over there.
I said, did you kick Anita off? But I see her up in the
Oh,
corner
no,
still.
she's still there.
Nope, she's still here, she says.
It's 1138, Justin.
Thank you.
I get them. No.
And we're talking about all of it, but 10,000.
So,
I think Todd changed his mind about the 25.
oh, definitely.
Okay,
so you wanna reduce it by $180,000.
sounds right.
What Charles said?
He said he understood. He just wanted to make sure that it wasn't being taken away. So no, it's not being taken away. It just, the council has a responsibility, fiscal responsibility in the county.
I agree.
Those first 2 meetings of the commissioners, 2022, have not made the folks very happy, so no.
Everybody thinks the money comes through us. So I mean,
Right.
we're the first ones to hear
We're on
about
the
it.
hook for it.
Right.
And if you don't pay attention to the commissioners meetings, you don't even know anything about it,
Right.
especially if, was something that happened this morning. If you didn't watch the YouTube video today or be at the commissioners meeting, you wouldn't have known anything about it.
I think it was, when we had joint meetings,
Yeah, there was no
everybody was
watch.
informed. Everybody watched each other and it was, I think it worked out best. You know, if we had something to discuss, they were right here.
But it also wasn't our choice to split up
No, I
the
know,
joint meeting.
right. And we as an accumulative group could express our opinions to the board, not just individually, because a lot of us can't make the meetings. Their meetings.
The person that
Yeah,
does
they
the
have to get
building
one, right.
has to get it. And I don't agree with that either. I just don't agree. You can hire anybody and not
No, they
have
to be
anything
certified
qualified,
already,
you know.
Shall we give Justin a few more minutes and move on to the 2023
I
budget?
don't even remember what we put, what was that for?
Are we doing a budget workshop date or something?
No. CAD, that's what it was for.
Oh, yes. So the other thing was something, and Don can help me with this too, but even some have been around for that. I'm looking down the board. Brad maybe remember. We talked about the municipalities helping pay for 911. In other counties, Marshall County, for example, they pay for dispatch. Did you have a chance to contact the auditor in Marshall County to find out what they're charging the municipalities?
I sent her an email, but I haven't heard back yet.
So she, Rachel hasn't heard back, but we've made this announcement 2 or 3 years ago that we were gonna do that. We never did. And there was a miscommunication. We thought Richard was taking care of that, but Richard was only reaching out to them about their portion of the plugins on them.
And say, I thought that was approved and supposed to be set in
It
stone when I was
supposed to be set in
commissioner.
Stone, because I remember Denny got upset about it when he heard of that,
Yes.
you know. But you know, that's how other counties operate and, you know,
Yeah, we had the similar discussion over election costs,
Yes.
remember?
that's right.
Remember?
Yes. You're right.
Because we kind of gave them a little pass that one year because we didn't.
They didn't have time to
Right.
budget.
Yeah.
So that was that. I'm just seeing who we have here. Did you have anything from your office?
No, I'm just here with the solar and seeing who's gonna be on the board this year.
Okay, Bernadette, was there anything from the clerk's office? I'll go around the room too, guys, but I just want to see that our elected or our office.
Oh,
Yeah, I
boy.
guess there's a few things. Did you guys think or talk about the non-reverting election fund? I know it wasn't able to be done for obvious reasons and put into play in 21 to start then. But can we maybe start it sometime in 22 to get it in play by the end?
I think we're interested in looking at it in budget workshops to see, you know, because the thing that when you and I and Rachel talked about it was also just how to kick it off financially and then how it's
Because
sustained.
we can also supplement that fund with the fines that we have to penalize people for not putting in their financial paperwork. We have some money already, and that money can be put together in that for purposes
I haven't got the minutes
that
back.
I was wanting for the non-reverting fund.
Did you read the response I got from the State Board of Accounts on that?
About the non-reverting
Yeah.
fund?
I sent it to you.
Yeah, you did. I'm just refreshing my memory. It was based on a levy.
AKA didn't read it.
Yeah, no, I mean, I thought we were gonna talk about it at budget workshop time.
Okay, well, I just got, because we had initially thought that it was like unused appropriations. Transferring money from the county general to, but no, you have to create a levy or use fines
yeah.
and, you know, other sources of revenue.
They already have the fines that we could start that with from, because the only reason I can say is I have experience, I'm not gonna go back to that, but I personally have paid $50 in my
Okay, so
history. So I know that money sits there, so it doesn't have to be that and a levy, it can just be that, correct?
Correct.
Is the way I read this, yeah, so, yeah, I think with that in mind and talking about it during budget workshop time, I think, you know, we can it's not gonna affect your budget, doesn't affect us. There's money there that's collected to sit there, so it makes sense, and then you got it there for discretionary use.
Do you want to wait till budget workshop or do you, I mean, we can create a fund now, not
Do you need-
now, but
I don't need the money for anything. I just
Just
want to
wanna get
create
it
that
started.
non-reverting fund.
I'd
for
say wait
what's
till
left
budget
in
workshop.
my
I mean,
budget at the end of the
Yeah,
year.
I just thought that might be the easiest time, you know what I mean?
That's
Since you
fine.
haven't
Yeah, it's my
earmarked
daughter's
it for
birthday.
anything,
That's
because I
fine.
know you had some ideas on what you might spend it on in a bigger election.
Well, we
And Don
have,
wants
we
to talk.
have some expenses that are going to be coming up because the state, well, for one, you know that the federal government's trying to federalize our elections, right? That's put in a bill that
Yes.
they're trying to get passed. It's not even point blank. They're trying to hide it in a
NASA.
different bill. I can't remember the NASA bill, that's it. Yeah, they're trying to hide it in a NASA bill, so you guys might want to contact your state reps and.
Oh, here we
state
go, going against the
senator,
Democrats again.
Federal, US reps and senators to,
50,
try to,
50, 48.
better that, because it's not a good thing. You don't want a federalized election. But that's just my 2 cents. Other than that, I had a meeting with Fiddler today. We are going to start doing our marriage license online. It's going to be an option. It's not going to be the only way you can get a marriage license. If you don't want to come in and see my smiling face, or see me in person, then you can do it all online. There's going to be a higher convenience charge for it, of course.
Online,
Online, yes. And if you come to me in person, it's $4. If you get it all online, it's gonna be 20. Fiddler gets $7.50 of that. I still get to keep my portion, and an extra $2.50 will go back into my clerk's perpetuation fund, on top of the money that I would normally get if you would come into the office.
here's the
So-
only problem I have with that though, is that like convenience is usually less, like that doesn't encourage anybody to do anything online, like then why not raise your in-person one to $21
I
then?
can't.
So the state allows you to charge 20 to do something online and
Yes.
$4 in person?
Yes.
That doesn't make sense, does it?
Makes no sense.
That's
The
backwards
cop-
compared
the
to
copy
what the
figures it
state's
out,
trying to do.
And then my certification is $3. That's all I can charge. I can't
That
charge
sucks.
anymore.
So then nobody's gonna do online.
Oh, you would.
I
be
bet they will,
surprised.
so they don't have to come in. I would do it, so I didn't
You
have to
pay
come in.
20?
I wouldn't get another marriage license, that's for sure on that.
Come on.
I did.
I'm ready.
You realize she might be watching.
I don't care, I'll tell her, she knows, I did it once, that's enough, I'm not dumb.
But that's going to help increase my perpetuation fund for the reason why I had Fiddler come in today is scanning of documents. I have to get my marriage license and I have to get my RGO books on digital.
Well, you said a
And-
lot of people are asking for marriage licenses lately.
Yes, for them, not every other county around us has already had the scanning project for years.
Everybody knows.
And they use, the other ones use Fiddler too?
It's between Fiddler and SB Portals.
Okay.
I already got a quote from SB Portals. It's older. It's from January of 2000, I believe. When SB came in to give me a quote that I'm going to send them back the quote that they gave me in 2000 and ask them to adjust it for today's rate. So
Well, you
I'm
make some more
looking at
money on it.
apples to apples.
It sucks you can't make
But
more money
we
in person.
have to get, at least those 2 items have to get scanned in. And it's not stuff that I can scan into Odyssey to have an Odyssey.
Quick.
It's-
Saves you a lot of work later too.
These items don't go into Odyssey, so it's not something we can do in.
That was a fair thing.
That's all you have on your whole notepad?
We'll come back to the rest of the audience at the end of the meeting, if that's okay with you guys, and I still have you on down for number 8.
Okay.
So we will move back to number 6, and it was the reduction in the appropriation of human capital. And I will read the resolution. It will be assigned a resolution number, not tonight.
not tonight. I don't know
Okay.
what number we're at.
So, quickly, a resolution providing for the reduction of appropriated expenditures from the Starke County Cumulative Capital Development Fund. Whereas the Starke County Council is responsible for the performance of various functions for the Starke County, Indiana, the county. And whereas the council has previously appropriated the sum of $150,000 for expenditures from the county's cumulative capital development fund number 1138, the fund for the fiscal year of January 1st, 2022 through December 31st, 2022. Whereas in the interest of the fiscal responsibility, the council has determined that it is in the best interest of the health, safety, and welfare of the county's citizens and the health of the fiscal vitality of the county that the appropriated amount for the expenditure from the fund for the current fiscal year be reduced to $70,000
Keep going.
and now therefore be ordained by the County Council of Stark County and the resolution providing for the reduction of the appropriate expenditures from the Stark County Cumulative Capital Development Fund is hereby adopted as follows. All right, this is probably where it's going to explain why I stopped it. A reduction in the appropriated fund number 1138, the County Cumulative Capital Development Fund is hereby reduced by a sum of $180,000. The new appropriate amount available for the county expenditures shall be $70,000 for the fiscal year ending December 31st, 2022. This ordinance shall become effective immediately upon its passage by the Stark County Council and as the date set forth below, passed and adopted by the County Council of Stark County, Indiana, on this 18th day of January 2022. Is there
Make a motion, we approve it.
Have a motion? Is that? I just saw
I
time.
have no way to go
already,
ahead,
so-
I don't care.
I don't care.
They can do it, I don't care.
Okay. Is there any further discussion? All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Aye. And is there any opposed?
It's very impressive, Justin.
Yeah.
I'm
just-
impressed.
Like bam.
Not even the first time in the last.
Um, So I don't forget, the dilapidated building fund, you were gonna check for me on that property. Well, we sold the tax sale, that sold for 23,000 that we. This is just because I'm thinking out loud, I'm afraid I'll forget. I want to put a lien on that property. Put money back in that dilapidated building fund.
Text me tomorrow.
Yeah, just, at least it's on the recording though. I just don't want to forget that because the clock's ticking. Don, you had number 8.
Yeah, just a second, I'll sign this.
While Don's looking, I will say that I met the CEO, the new CEO for the hospital, Keith Nichols, great guy, a lot of ideas. He comes from Oklahoma originally, small community, worked in small community hospitals, has a lot of new ideas. Really excited about some things they've got going on. I also met with Healthlink have a bunch of new things themselves that they want to do, and then also in partnership with the hospital for mental wellness and other things.
Wow, look at this.
What is going on?
You're scaring me, Don.
Hey.
Last time somebody did this, they retired. You're not coming to tell us. you're retired.
Folks familiar with Range Road?
Yes.
Is there one of them in Stark County?
Yes, there is. Right. You familiar with Bailey's down on Highway 10 and Range Road?
Yep.
Yes.
Okay. How about Fernelli's?
Yeah,
Yes.
total, total.
Yeah.
Right to the road.
Range and Total.
Yeah.
Now, there's another Fernelli's down there.
Mhm.
Toto. Okay, and this is all on Range Road.
Yeah.
Okay. Heard of Richards?
Yes.
Let's see. Now they're opening up the new, for the old Weinberg store.
Are they really?
Really?
I thought I heard that.
Yep.
And sure.
Wallpaper. Davis Head.
Really?
Wallpaper?
Uh-huh.
Is it Bobby Lifford moving?
It's daughter, I think.
Becky?
Oh,
It's
okay.
Bobby.
It is Bobby? Oh, are they moving out of the other building on Total Road? Or I mean, on
No, no.
Range, I mean?
Range Road?
Oh, the Range Road is a antique shop now.
Yes, that's where, yes.
Yeah, maybe they're moving the wallpaper though, at the antique shop.
Okay. Now, the problem we got, complained to the, down at Highway 8, they had a sign down there, Weinberg's are total, go right down Range Road. Correct? So it's working out pretty well. Now, they've removed the sign, the state, and everything, so now, there's no one, coming down that way. But now they're coming from Highway 10 traffic. And I've seen as high as Bailey's there on Highway 10, you can get as high as 250 to 300 cars in there. And they've been there a lot of times. Traffic is getting horrible. Okay, now, and they appear now that the old Weinberg, the other building, someone's trying to open that up now for another store. Range Road is going to be a super highway with traffic. And I happen to live on Range Road myself. So what I'm trying to say, and like I say, I complained to the state and all they did was remove the signs. So, and so I don't know, is there anything we can do with the county here, you know?
I mean, as far as like rerouting traffic,
Yes,
unfortunately with like commercial and industrial traffic, you can reroute it. I don't know that you can do residential
that's
type
what,
of traffic.
that's what I'm afraid.
Yeah, no,
that's
I
what
don't
I'm
know that
afraid
you
of.
can.
Like truck traffic, yes, we can.
Yeah,
Yes.
right.
Or not us. I suppose that would be the commissioners that would do the truck traffic.
That's
but-
what the problem is, and the traffic's getting heavy.
Yeah, well, one of the problems with Range Road is it's not really flat. You know,
You
it's
got it.
fairly straight, but it's not really flat, so it's not a really safe road.
It's not a good road.
But I don't know if there's a good alternative for rerouting.
That's why I want, you know, the
To reroute
county, is
traffic.
there anything the county, you know, it's a county road.
Well, they can apply for CMG grants to improve Range Road for striping and make it a better road. We have talked to the highway superintendent about applying for grants for
That'd be a
that.
good thing to talk to
That's
Dan
what
about.
this is Range Road,
Yeah, where was it at?
but it's 300 south of 250 north.
That Range Road.
Yeah.
Yeah, Range
300
Road goes
south,
all-
so it's all the way down to Total Road.
Oh, yeah, it goes
Right.
all the way. I think
Right.
Range Road.
Total
goes,
road's 300.
Yeah, total is 300, so it's from 300, so it's actually 5.5 miles. So it'd be all the way up to the county highway garage. Would be, that's what this,
That's for
The
hot
hot
mix
mix,
yeah.
and striping.
yeah, that's what this is right here.
So it'll
I
be
mean,
better.
I mean,
One of the things too is that, you know, the visibility is not great. Like, you know, the thing is that the easement isn't great on that road either.
I know
for the
that.
amount of
It's
traffic.
not.
They just. Like,
You know, I mean, well, what would you propose? Are you proposing just a better road or are you just proposing that you wish there was less traffic on that road?
that's
It's
where
not
we're
possible.
going to come back.
Because, I mean, I think there's probably more likely some ways to improve
the road.
the safety on that road. But as far as, you know, Range Road historically has just always been such a more of a primary range road. You know, Total Road, I have to tell you, 25 North, the road I live on is a
It's a
highway.
super highway.
Yeah, so I mean,
now,
unfortunately, some roads are just like that in the county because that's a connection with, you know.
and
Use
the
all
unfortunate thing is you improve it more, it's gonna get worse.
Three cars.
Yeah.
By
That's
25
what I'm
north,
saying. I know.
Yes.
by 25 north is a good example.
But this road now, it's,
Yeah.
getting, you know, so much
So I
traffic.
mean,
you know,
it's a
it-
truck
it's-
route road as well.
You know, it's just turning into a highway.
Could talk to, I mean,
We don't have that.
you do stuff to win that by
We don't have
changing.
that.
trying to change
No,
the-
that's-
the-
I think
What Dan can do, and this is something that you should
Yeah.
probably sit down and talk to him about,
Go
is
ahead.
just throw a counter out there first.
Come on,
Yeah.
You know, because that's what they did on
With a little
25 North.
jag in it as well.
You know,
Go.
and that's how we determine the numbers too, is that, you know, by putting this one of those, you know, counters out there, throw a counter out there. Kind of take a look at that and, you know, it'd be interesting too, just to know what the flow is. Is the flow coming from State Road 8? Is it dissecting and coming down Total Road? Like, there's ways to study that, but it wouldn't be expensive to throw the counters out there and do a little study on
You
that
need
road
counter
first.
every way. Always
You can
has
do a
to
flow
go
study.
road and down Range Road 10, all six
I
of
can't
them.
believe that there's no sort of light at Bailey's. Like,
Right.
no flashing light,
Right.
no,
No,
nothing.
And then Richard's just right across.
But the problem is the warrant to get one is to the state.
Mhm.
Well,
You have to have all these accidents, you have to have right
but
turn
but
accidents.
they've
It's not
done
easy.
so much, and the theories on that are different too, because think about 10 and
They took 'em
35,
out.
they took them out.
That's because they never.
At
they never
Washington
met the warrant.
Township, they've gone back and forth between stop signs and lights and all these different
Yeah.
things because people.
And you still have how many a year down there? But not enough.
And you got the Richards of Toto, and it's there.
I mean,
Flashing
huge
lights on
store.
stop signs.
Same with 630 in Hamlet. There was a wreck there the other day.
Mhm.
Day before yesterday, I mean.
We won't get
You know,
out.
I think it's
horrible.
something to
You know-
bring up to Dan.
you know who
Don.
they
Why
called?
don't you,
Yeah,
if
that's
you want me
what
to
they
do
called.
it, remind me,
Yeah.
They never
Might
called
be-
us.
You can explain it better probably, since
Yeah.
you travel the road more, but I suggest you do that. You know.
Yeah, and you know what got me the most when it, yeah, I talked to some of the state highway guys. Oh, yeah, about doing something about the traffic and, the sign,
Yeah.
all they did, they took the sign down. That said Toto, had a Toto, like that,
Well,
pointing towards
we want
Toto.
them to use the state road more than our road is the
But
problem,
they
that's the
took down
thing.
the
we-
green and
we'd
white
rather
sign?
they do
Yes.
that,
Oh, I can't believe that.
Yes, it's gone. I come down here, you look, and I said, my God, where does the sign? But they got this thing. So nobody know,
I gotta tell you,
Toto's got a big name,
but
It's-
you also know one thing though, Don, all roads lead to Toto. Like,
I know,
oh my
that's their
God,
thing.
so, are you from Stark County or what? You don't know Barn Burner, you don't know all roads lead to Toto?
I heard something about raised in a barn, but doesn't know about a barn burn.
I was born in Stark County
Are you
Hospital.
kidding me?
But
So
anyway,
I would
what
rather-
I'm wanting to find out. is
The
there something
explanations
that
are
we
just
can do to
rolling
get
with me
done?
right now.
Get this mess straightened
I
up.
think
It's
the
getting,
first-
it's gonna be worse.
Where that usually starts, Don, is a flow study, and I think that putting the counters out there and just understanding, what the,
Mhm.
what the flow is. I keep wanting to say hydraulics, but that's the water under the bridge. And we have an expert here on highway terminology, so I want to make sure after I got her on Stark County slang that she doesn't get me on.
Oh,
road
I see
terminology.
traffic there. I mean, you might have just one after another. Maybe 20, 30 sometimes on a Saturday or something.
It's a bittersweet thing, like Todd said, I know whoever, Don, whoever said, if you make it better, they might.
It's probably more than
Encourage
20, it's probably
that.
more than 23. The traffic count range was probably more than 20.
Oh, yeah.
By far.
Oh, yeah,
Maybe more than 8.
yeah.
It's
Oh, I'm sure it
It's
is.
probably 5,000-6,000 cars.
Yeah.
4,000.
I wouldn't be a bit
Except for
surprised.
Mondays.
Yeah.
Don, you know me, I'd be willing to make it a toll road for anybody that doesn't live in Stark County.
Oh, my God.
I agree.
I'm just
We get all the
saying.
money.
But anyway, I want to bring it from the board, see what, where, I gotta get something done. It's getting worse and worse. And
Talk to
there's
Dan
more and
about it,
more
I'll
coming.
talk to him too.
Yeah, do that and see what we can get something. I don't know what the answer is. I mean, my God, you can't make a wider road. You can't, you got ditch it off.
There's no right of way.
No,
I mean, it'd be a major, you'd have to acquire right of way.
oh, yeah, there's like, well, I own the property on the other side of the road too, and that. I don't know what part of me I got on the ditch.
I mean, it could be done. I mean, Cass County, we acquired 40-foot right of way for 4.5 miles.
Oh, is that right?
Make the road wider, I mean. it
That's the
could be-
thing, I mean, and when you look at Toto also, though, it's not real flat either. I mean, the
No,
problem is,
no.
No, it's not.
both ways to get there are not the safest in the
That's
world
right.
as far as.
Becky was right there too. And you talked to them about it, about the traffic? I mean,
Who?
Matt Bailey and Becky, they live.
Yeah, yeah. But not only that, the old Wallpaper store, Joey's old store, they're opening that back up.
Okay.
That's being opened up. I don't know what they're gonna have. They are there.
Somebody goes back to making popcorn
They started
and
that
Polish
about
sausages.
3 weeks
Got
ago.
a lot of walls over there.
And, they started that 2 or 3 weeks ago. And I said, my God, here's another stupid.
Yeah, well, let's talk to Dan about it. I mean, that's.
And
We
it-
want more
it-
business out
it's-
there. but
it-
things
it
don't go.
keeps, it's gonna be if all these stores get going, that's gonna be traffic back up so bad that you'll never be able to get in and out there. The road's not stupid for
Are you good on that then? We'll get with Dan. In fact, I'll get with Dan with you if you want.
it. Yes,
Let's go ahead and go around the room. Now, you see why we're moving it back to 4:30, just to be safe, because, since we only meet once a month, sometimes our.
That's what I said.
our
Sometimes
meetings-
we get guys like Don.
Sir, did you have anything you wanted to
No,
contribute to the
I've
meeting?
been to a few commission meetings. I hadn't been to a council one, so I wanted to kind of come to one and see what.
Well,
the
welcome.
difference is.
What's your name?
Tom Bush.
Tom
I'm
Bush.
also a new director on the Property Owners Association.
Oh, nice to meet you, Tom. How are things going out there? in the property owners
Pretty
organization?
good. We're gonna move ahead on the second pump, so.
That's great news.
Had a really good response from the survey. Now we're still working with,
now I saw, now it's 2 for now. One on one side of the street, one on the other.
Cool.
It's the daughter.
Well, we appreciate all your guys' support for our park properties out there too, so. We're looking
We
forward
need
to
a lake with water in it.
we're looking to working together with you guys.
Yeah, I find, I
Sir,
got tired of that. I saw that.
Just real quick, I'd like to introduce myself. I'm Chris Knapp. I'm with Next Era. I'm the developer working on our project out here. So if you have any questions, I'll pass on my business cards at the end. I was here this morning. If you have any questions.
I owe you a call back too. I'm sorry.
Yeah, I
Yes,
called Dave
It's
last
been
week, and I
crazy.
just
Yeah,
showed
I'm
up.
sorry.
You have to call me back. So,
I did, I'm
appreciate
sorry.
it. So I'll pass on my business cards if anybody has any questions.
Yeah, when I saw you here, I thought, that's right, but
Make most of your-
if
forgot to
anybody,
come back so he comes to our
if
meeting.
anybody can vouch for me, that it's been crazy. Rachel,
No, I
yeah,
understand. Thank you.
So we went on a little visit, Rose and Dave and I and Bill to the construction site in Jasper County and very impressive.
Yeah, and that was one of the things, and I wanted to bring that up at the end too, and thank you, for the reminder too at that, Lisa, because it was a really nice trip. And for those people that wonder what solar is going to be like and what kind of a neighbor solar is, that project over there is clean, it's flat. I mean, there was no garbage laying around, you know what I mean? And life was going on around, the solar project. And so, we've had a fair amount of people against solar, but I think that's one way to do it is, because I mentioned when I was out of town and I saw some, I thought about taking pictures in Nevada. Now you can see what it looks like right here, adjacent to Starke County, and then moving into Starke County, what kind of a neighbor it looks like, and it's not nearly as bad as where, of course, it'll look a lot better once it has the frontages and, the buffer zones, but even without the buffer, it's not that noticeable, so.
It's a mess.
And I promise I will always call you. Just keep calling me.
No,
Like,
it's okay.
don't ever hesitate for that, or hit me on WhatsApp and back and forth.
Yeah.
That's what some of the people I work with do. They'll go WhatsApp.
WhatsApp.
So, thanks, Chris.
She's in bed now.
Is there
Anyway.
anything else you want to
How
counsel?
old is she today?
3. She.
Besides the motion you wanted to
I
make?
want to have a motion to join, to adjourn.
Don't-
Gotta go home and work.
Was that
I second.
Second from Kay, all in favor?